You are listening to Housekeepers Chat by the United States Department of Agriculture from 1927. Disclaimer: this is read from a historic archive document. Do not assume content reflects current scientific knowledge, policies, or practices. This broadcast was aired on the 30th of March of 1927.
In today's program, there are notes on interior decorating for the home and exterior decorating for the person. Also a menu and a delicious recipe for chocolate soufflé. All information approved by the United States Bureau of Home Economics.
Here it is, the last day of March. Did you ever know a month to go as fast as this one has? It seems only a few days since I broadcast a Washington's birthday dinner, and now I'm thinking of an Easter dinner. However, before I go into detail about menus, there are questions to be answered. First and foremost, what are some good fabrics for summer curtains? Fabrics which will not fade are best for summer curtains. If the furnishings of the house are simple, inexpensive cotton materials such as unbleached muslin, crepe, gingham, English prints, and cheesecloth are suitable. Linen, either dyed or in natural colors, cretonnes and chintzes in various colors and patterns are also appropriate and go well even with fine mahogany and walnut furniture. Fabrics and colors that will clean well and withstand light are the best bargains in the end. Examine curtain materials also for defects in the weave that may show up when the curtains are hung. With figured wallpaper, choose plain colored curtain material. If the walls and most of the furnishings are plain, the curtains may be figured, but preferably with the background the same color or slightly deeper than the walls. With cream walls, for instance, a cretonne with soft tan background and figures that repeat the colors used elsewhere in the room might be suitable for living and dining rooms. In selecting figured materials, choose conventional designs that will stand the test of being looked at day after day. Sprawling designs make the window look shorter and broader. Stripes tend to increase the height, and if used in excess, give a stiff, uncomfortable effect. Measure the windows with care before buying the material, and measure and cut the material by a thread if possible before making up the curtains. Accuracy in cutting and neat sewing go a long way toward ensuring well-hanging curtains. Question number 2. What type of sleeves is most becoming for a person with fleshy arms? The loosely fitted, long sleeve is most becoming for fleshy arms. A tight sleeve on a large arm emphasizes its size. It is also uncomfortable. Loose sleeves which are open at the wrist are graceful as well as comfortable. Trimmings and construction lines which follow the length of the arm, such as bound slashes, bands of material, rows of buttons, etc., are aids in making the arm seem longer and more slim. Sleeves gathered into a tight cuff with a puffed effect should never be worn by the stout woman. In fact, it is best for her to keep the sleeve as simple and as graceful as possible. Third question. Does the texture of a garment have anything to do with the apparent size of a parson? Indeed so. Texture is a very important consideration when choosing materials for a garment. This is especially true in regard to stout figures. Shiny fabrics, even though they are black, seem to increase the size of the wearer. Coarsely woven, thick or fuzzy materials increase the apparent bulk of the figure. Soft, clinging materials should be chosen for the plump person rather than those which are stiff, such as organdie and taffeta. Thea may be worn by the more slender, youthful figure. Color, although not a texture, is another important factor. Light and bright colors tend to increase the size, while dark, neutral colors decrease the apparent size of the wearer. Fourth question. How can I determine what colors are most becoming to me? One very effective method is to drape materials of various colors and textures about the shoulders while standing before a mirror in bright daylight. If the dress is to be worn in the evening, artificial light should be used. As each color is tried, study the effect it has on the color of your eyes, your hair, and your skin. If your skin tends to be sallow, You will notice that lavenders and purples make it appear more sallow. Shades of rose and reds are somewhat more becoming because some of the color is reflected in the skin. Some of the greens, especially blue greens, will bring out the red that is in the skin. Colors may also be chosen that will emphasize the beauty of the hair and the eyes. One more question, a very practical one. How should carpet sweepers be cleaned? A good method is to empty the box on a damp newspaper and use old scissors and a button hook or a Carré comb to remove hair and dirt from the brushes. And don't forget to oil the bearings once in a while. Pencils now, please, while I discuss plans for dinner. How is this? Creamed eggs, baked Irish or sweet potatoes, spinach, and rhubarb pie. I expect that everybody knows how to prepare creamed eggs. Simply make a white sauce of milk, flour, butter, pepper, and salt, and add the whites of hard-cooked eggs. Over this sprinkle the egg yolks which have been forced through a sieve. Put a dash of paprika on top. If you are in a hurry, you might chop the whole eggs into the white sauce. I hope you can get fresh rhubarb for the pie. It doesn't take much, just 3 cups, sliced, and it will taste so refreshing. It has a little fresh orange in it. 7 ingredients for the pie. 3 cups raw sliced rhubarb, 1 cup sugar, and ½ teaspoon salt, 1 tablespoon water, 2½ tablespoons flour, 3 slices orange cut into sixths, pastry dough for 2 crusts. I'll run through the ingredients again. Be sure there are 7. 3 cups raw sliced rhubarb, 1 cup sugar, and ½ teaspoon salt, 1 tablespoon water, 2½ tablespoons flour, 3 slices orange cut into sixths. Pastry dough for 2 crusts. Line the pie pan with pastry dough and bake it in a hot oven until it is delicately browned. Meanwhile, cook the rhubarb, sugar, salt, and water together until the rhubarb is tender. Remove 3 or 4 tablespoons of the juice, and when it is cool, mix with the flour. Add this and the orange to the baked crust. Moisten the rim, lay the top crust in place, and tuck in the edges carefully so that the juice will not leak out. Bake the pie in a hot oven, about 450 degrees Fahrenheit, for 20 minutes. By this method, the undercrust is crisp, but some of the fresh flavor of the rhubarb is lost. To repeat the menu, creamed eggs, baked Irish or sweet potatoes, spinach, and rhubarb pie. And I can't help adding, cook your spinach only 10 or 15 minutes in the water that clings to the leaves. Then it will look and taste like fresh spinach. Now, since I promised it to you, I shall give you my recipe for delicious chocolate soufflé with 9 ingredients as follows. ½ cup sugar, ¼ teaspoon salt, ½ cup fine stale breadcrumbs, 3/4 cup milk, 1 tablespoon flour, 4 eggs, 1 tablespoon butter, ½ teaspoon vanilla, 1½ square chocolate unsweetened. 9 ingredients, please check them. ½ cup sugar, ¼ teaspoon salt, ½ cup fine stale breadcrumbs, 3/4 cup milk, 1 tablespoon flour, 4 eggs, 1 tablespoon butter, ½ teaspoon vanilla, 1½ square chocolate, unsweetened. Mix the flour and butter. Add the milk and stir over heat until thickened. Melt the chocolate over steam and add to the cream sauce with the salt, breadcrumbs, sugar, and well-beaten egg yolks. Beat well. Fold in the well-beaten whites of the eggs. Pour into a greased pudding dish and bake in a moderate oven, 325 degrees Fahrenheit, for 1 hour, or until well set in the middle. Serve hot with hard sauce or whipped cream. That's all for today, and I hope you like the rhubarb pie and the soufflé.
This broadcast was researched and produced by Breakaway Empire LLC.